All right, we are back with another pick'em video. Going to be talking NBA in this one. We got two more awesome playoff games tonight. Starting off with the Knicks and the Pacers. That's game one in Madison Square Garden. And then we got the Nuggets and the Timberwolves. Game two, and the Timberwolves kind of shocking the world, taking game one on the road. But the Nuggets the Timberwolves are legit. And we're going to see if the Nuggets can bounce back tonight. But starting in that first game, kind of battle of the pace as the Knicks play the slowest pace and the Pacers play the second highest pace. So it might come down to who's controlling the game, who's making the other team uncomfortable and playing, a style that they don't really want to play. But I got a few picks in both those games. We're going to break down a slip that I have on Sleeper, which is a fantasy app, a DFS app that I'll talk a little bit about. And then we'll go into some PrizePicks plays. And I want to kind of broaden my, reach here and potentially do some spreads and some money lines down the line. So let me know if that's something you're interested in. But if you're new around here, definitely go ahead and subscribe. Leave the video a like and comment anything down below. Just tells YouTube to push this video out a little bit more. But going into the slip that I have for Sleeper, if you're not on Sleeper, you can use code RICH, get a 100% deposit match. You're also going to get a free month of my Discord. If you DM me, say, hey, use your code, I'll get you right in for a free month. But here's my Sleeper slip for the day. We're going to break down all of these plays, but it looks pretty good. Some of these are juiced on the over or the under, whichever one we're taking. But I'll take a 3X on a three-man parlay that's looking really good in terms of, all different avenues of the game. But I'm going to start off with this Knicks and Pacers game. It's the first game of the night, and I got two plays in that game. OG Anunoby over 15.5 points and Jalen Brunson under the double-double. Now, you might think this is a little bit counterintuitive, but the way the Pacers play is they run teams off that three-point line. They give up the least amount of threes to opposing teams, whereas vice versa, they give up a ton of points at the rim. So for Jalen Brunson under the double-double, I think he might score 40 points a game this series. It goes right into the way he plays. Yes, he can knock down some threes, but he does a lot of his damage getting to the rim, getting to the foul line, which also the Pacers give up the most free throws per game to opposing teams. So I think Brunson might see a ton of free throws attempted in this series. I think he's going to get a ton of points at the rim, where guys like, McBride, we just saw him have a pretty good series. He might get limited, his minutes might decrease, and guys like OG Anunoby might be scoring a little bit more, especially if OG is getting 40 minutes a night, as we didn't see that throughout the season, as he did deal with that injury. So, OG, 40 minutes a night, a guy that goes to the rim where the Pacers give up a ton of points. I like that combo, and I did look into the assists that Brunson's getting. More than 60% of his assists are from that three-point line, catch and shoot threes from guys like Dante, from guys like Josh Hart, from guys like McBride, whereas OG, he doesn't assist all too much. Yes, he could get one, diving to the rim, OG getting a dunk or something like that. But I think Brunson's assists come down from last series, this series, as the Pacers just don't give up a ton of assists. We're going to break down each individual one with some charts, and you're going to be able to look into all those. But yeah, that's my kind of thoughts on this Knicks series. Brunson going to be doing a ton of scoring. I think OG is going to be kind of right there, behind him as the second guy. And, guys like Josh Hart, guys like Dante, who rely a little bit more on the three-pointers. I think they might see a tiny bit of a drop in terms of their scoring. Then Jamal Murray, we just needed 2 threes from him. He did it in game one after not having a great game. But this is the, down 1-0, still at home, where Murray shoots a ton better from three, which again, we're going to see in his charts. And they need a big game from Jokic. They need a big game from Murray. And we're going to see that two-man pick and pop game where Murray can knock down some threes. And he's done that against the, Timberwolves. Struggled this series so far. Struggled this year against the Timberwolves so far. But against them last year in the playoffs, he played really well against this team. Knocking down a lot of threes, especially at home. So here's my little sleeper slip. Again, get in here. Code RICH. You get a 100% deposit match up to $500, which is awesome. But you're also going to get a free week of the Discord that we'll talk a little bit about later. Yeah, let's jump into these plays individually, and then I'll give you some PrizePicks plays as well. Also, totally forgot to mention, when you do sign up for PrizePicks using my code, you're going to start off with a free square that you can add to this parlay as well. So Jalen Brunson, 0.5 points. He's going to score 1. This is 99% off. If you sign up, this is for newbies only. You're going to get this free square. And if you want to use the Brunson, under double line or something like that in your play, you can also just use this Bueller 0.5 strikeouts, 91% off. He should go out there and get one for the Dodgers as well. So wanted to point that out as kind of an extra incentive to jump on Sleeper and try this out. All right, so let's start breaking down some of these plays. The first one we're going to be talking about is Jalen Brunson getting a double-double. We're saying no. And there's going to be a few different ways to attack Jalen Brunson. I'm going to show you 3 different plays I think you could go to on PrizePicks or on Sleeper or on a different sportsbook, whatever you're on. But Brunson here, double-double. This is against the Pacers specifically. Hasn't got one since 2022 is the past 5 matchups, but they had 3 matchups this year. He didn't get there and wasn't even really close. In terms of 2023 as a whole, he hasn't double-doubled in 86% of games, meaning he has gotten one in 12 of 83 games, which would be a 14% hit rate getting one. It is juiced on the under, but I think it's a pretty, not a for sure bet. Anything can happen, but it's looking pretty good, especially the way that the Pacers defend the ball and how Jalen Brunson plays. So again, he might get a ton of points in this series, but in terms of driving and kicking, that's what the Pacers like to mitigate, and we've seen that in their matchups. So when we're talking double-double for Brunson, we're really looking at the assists mostly. I don't think he's going to get 10 rebounds in a game, especially here in game 1. But we can check out the rebounds and assists. I think this is going to be a solid play for you guys as well. If you're looking at Jalen Brunson and you see him at 13.5, I would definitely consider taking the under on this one. Not consider, I would encourage you to take the under. I just saw a little bit more value in the double-double, especially on Sleeper. And we see 75% of games he's gone under this. We just kind of talked about the hit rate and things like that, but the head-to-head is really what we want to see. And he's gone under in 5 of 5 games, again, 3 of these being this season. And the most recent matchup was February, so you got to take that into account as well. But didn't even come close. 4 assists and 3 rebounds, 1 assist and 5 rebounds, and then 6 assists and 1 rebound, staying under very, very easily here. And again, it just goes into the way that these guys play, the way Brunson plays, the way the Pacers defend, and it's making a lot of sense that Brunson's going to see the assists, see the rebounds kind of fall off this series, where he did pretty well in that series against the Sixers. Yeah, Brunson on the under double-double, I think that's really, really looking good. In terms of some PrizePicks plays that I think you could go to, they don't have an assist line out for him. I wonder why. They probably don't even want to put that out. But 2.5 assists in the first quarter they do have. I would definitely consider taking the under on that one. If you can't get his full assists for the full game, he hasn't hit this in a single game against the Pacers this year. And then also in the playoffs this year, even against the Sixers, he went under in 5 of 6 games in that 6-game series. So in the playoffs, he's been looking to score a lot. And again, only went over in 1 game against the Sixers. And then in terms of the rebounds and assists, we can't get it at 13.5. It is juiced on the under for that line. But at 13.0, I wouldn't mind that, taking the under there. We broke that down. It goes hand in hand with his assists. And I don't think he's going to get there again in game 1. And then in terms of the free throws made, we talked about the Pacers giving up a ton of free throws, the most in the NBA actually, in terms of giving up free throws to their opponent. And Brunson has been living at the rim. He's gotten over this in a lot of games so far this playoffs. I can actually pull that up for us. Wasn't expecting to do this, but free throws made for Brunson over 7.5. He's gone over this in the head-to-head matchup, 2 of 3 games this year. He had 9 and 10 back in February, which is good to see. Again, they gave up a ton of free throws, the most in the NBA, 20.5 free throws allowed per game. And then in terms of the matchup against the Sixers, was getting to the rim pretty consistently in that series as well. We can see in game 1, 2, 3, and 5, he went over this. The most recent one getting 12 free throws. So he should be attacking the rim. Again, this is really how these two teams play, and how Brunson plays specifically, playing right into how the Pacers defend. So I like Brunson's both these lines, again, under his first quarter assists or just his assists for the full game, under his rebounds and assists for the full game, and then Brunson getting to the free throw line. I like all of these from him today. All right, so now let's take a look at OG Anunoby. He's that other player on the Knicks that we're going to. Here's the slip again, 15.5 points just straight up is what we're going to, and we're getting a discount on Sleeper pretty much. If you look at OG's line for every other sportsbook is at 16.5. You get Sleeper right here at 15.5. But yeah, everywhere else, literally across the country or the world, I don't even know how many sportsbooks this is, has this at 16.5. So OG's the guy I wanted to look at, and Sleeper had him at 15.5. That's what we're going to be attacking. 4 or 5 games he's gone over this. No, he's not going to drop 45 points, but he can definitely creep over, 16, 17, 18, 20 points maybe. And we saw him doing that against Philly. He's playing a ton of minutes, 43.6 minutes in the last 5 games, all those being playoff games. So I do like him, shooting the ball, 13.2 attempts, sometimes 16, 17 attempts out here, and only 4.2 of those being 3-pointers. So again, I'm going to sound like a broken record here when I talk about the matchup, but Pacers don't give up a ton of threes, so guys that go to the rack and do a lot more of their damage in that mid-range at the rim like OG Anunoby, should get a little boost here. So yeah, I like OG here in terms of the matchup against the Pacers. He hasn't played the Pacers since he got traded to the Knicks. Obviously, he's been dealing with that injury. But if you look at 2023 as a whole, in terms of the minutes, we've seen them trending upwards is really what I wanted to show you. The last 3 games, 46.8, 50.3, and 45.2 minutes. He's going to need all of it against this Pacers team. They give up a ton of points per game, 28th in terms of small forward points allowed, which is where OG slides into that lineup. And yeah, really just liking OG. Everything kind of checking out for him on the Knicks side of things. All right, so moving along to the next game of the night. It's that Nuggets versus Timberwolves game, and we talked about it. The Nuggets lost game 1 at home. The Timberwolves are up 1-0 in this series, and the Nuggets don't want to go down 2-0, especially with home court advantage. So I expect a big Jokic game. I expect a big Jamal Murray game, and both these guys are going to have to step up at home, and we've seen them do that. This is the defending champs for a reason. I don't think the Timberwolves are either going to come in here and steal both games at home. Would be very, very impressive. But Murray shoots very well at home. We just need 2 threes from him. Again, I'll pull up the sleeper slip that we're talking about today. Jamal Murray, 2+ threes. It's juiced on the over, but I'll take that any day of the week. If it hits, it hits. 68% of games he's gone over this year. 2.42 is his average for three-pointers made. If you look at home games, this takes a little bit of a boost here as well. 71% of games at home, he's gone over this, averaging 2.57. Now, if you take that away and go to home games, or not, just head-to-head against the Timberwolves here, he's gone over in 8 of the last 11 matchups. We saw these guys play each other in the not the finals, the playoffs last year, and we've seen that. He's gone over in 4 of the 5 games last year in the playoffs, and he's gone over in 3 of 4 matchups so far this year, including game 1 where he kind of struggled. So I expect Murray to have a bounce-back game here. I expect a lot of shots from him today. And again, he just needs 2 threes from us. If you look at the head-to-head here in home games against this Timberwolves team, 6 straight games against the Timberwolves, he's had at least 2 threes, and he's averaging 3.8 threes against them at home. So Jamal, again, shoots better at home, and we've seen him do it time and time again against this Timberwolves team. And if you don't love this line, if you want to do something else on PrizePicks, I do have a couple other options for you. How about Jamal Murray and Karl-Anthony Towns over 4.0 three-pointers made? We've seen that Jamal's capable of hitting 6 against this team. No, I don't expect 6, but he could go out there and shoot a bunch. He could get 2, 3, 4 maybe just by himself. And then Towns on the other side of that has been knocking down some threes. He had 2, I believe, in game 1. Shot pretty well against the Nuggets, but also just thinking about it defensively, they're going to do everything in their power to slow down Anthony Edwards, make someone else beat him, and that might open up some more opportunities for Towns. So I do like this combo play. And then Jamal Murray, 19.0 field goals attempted. He's been shooting in the playoffs. Some of these games he hasn't been shooting well, but they're going to need him today. They're going to look at their superstars. Again, I think Jokic should have a huge game today, maybe scoring the ball, but if he gets people involved, if Jamal's cooking, he's going to find him, and Jamal should shoot over 19.0 field goals attempted. So some other plays, if you want to get over on PrizePicks and use something, I do like both these as well. All right, so that's going to do it for today's video. Again, we talked about a whole bunch of lines, whether on PrizePicks, Sleeper, universal lines that you'll be able to find pretty much anywhere. But here's the sleeper slip that I actually submitted. I've submitted a bunch of stuff on PrizePicks as well, other platforms as well. But we just need Jamal Murray to hit 2 threes. I think he's capable of doing that. We talked about OG, probably my most iffy play of the day. 15.5 points, just needs 16 plus for us. And I think he can go ahead and do that. Again, we talked about the Pacers playing. They allow a lot more points at the rim. Don't give up a ton of threes. I think OG is going to be, maybe the second leading scorer in this series for the Knicks. And then Brunson, I'm taking the under on the double-double. That doesn't mean I don't think he's going to have a great series. I think he's going to score a ton. But the Pacers don't allow a ton of assists. We broke that down. Talked about a few different ways to attack Brunson. Maybe his 13.5 rebounds and assist line is a little bit too high. I think that is way too high. I just think Brunson's going to score a lot, and we're going to see his assists and his rebounds maybe even a little bit taking a hit. So there's the slip. If you want to jump on Sleeper, use code RICH. You're going to get a free month of my Discord, which we're going to talk about in a second here. You're going to get a 100% deposit match up to $500, which is insane. And then you're also going to get a newbie free square. I think one of them is Jalen Brunson. But if you want to put your newbie free square in this slip or something similar to this, there's an MLB free square as well for you guys to choose from. So definitely check out Sleeper. But on PrizePicks, we talked about a few plays as well. Brunson getting to the rim. I think his free throws made line is a little bit too low. If you don't like Jamal Murray just by himself, you can go ahead and take Jamal Murray and Karl-Anthony Towns combo. at 4.0. We talked about Jamal Murray potentially shooting a bunch of shots. Maybe his field goals attempted line is a little bit too low as well. He's been shooting a ton of shots so far these playoffs. So we talked about a whole bunch of different lines, and that's kind of what we're always doing in the Discord. So there's the video picks, but if you want to jump into the Discord, we're always talking slips, talking plays, talking props. It's a fun place to come and just really talk about, what are you thinking about this? What are you thinking about that? Oh, there's a discount on this one. Someone's pointing that out. We, have a bunch of success in here, but we also have a bunch of fun. And we're really just trying to make, a hobby of watching sports into a hobby that we can make, a few extra bucks along the way. It's entertainment at the end of the day. But again, you get access to a dope community. You get access to all my slips that I play personally. The second really that I put them in, I get them to you guys in the Discord. And then it's $20 a month, but you can get in here for free, plenty of different ways. Sign up to Sleeper, like we talked about today. DM me, say, hey, use your code for Sleeper. Send me a screenshot, and I'll get you right in. Or any of my other DFS platform partners, PrizePicks, Underdog, Chalkboard, Dabble. If you're not on any of those, sign up. Send me a screenshot. I'll get you in for a month free. And then DG Fantasy, we didn't talk about today just because we were on Sleeper mostly, but they're an awesome tool. I've talked about them in a bunch of videos, and you get 25% off your first month. But again, you also get that free month of the Discord. So come check us out. I think you'll have a lot of fun in here, especially if you're at this point in the video. And we're just trying to win, make sports a little bit more fun, and trying to profit along the way. So I'll see you guys in tomorrow's video, or if you're in the Discord, I'll see you in there. Peace out.